I had my eye on this one, trying to get one of these because of the blue caps. The 57 blue caps had a rhythm guitarist, and in the movie that has one of these Gretsch ranchers. And I just was fascinated because it didn't have a round hole, it just got the triangular hole. And if you look closely at the stills from the movie, there's a bullet hole in the guitar, which I'm probably going to put in this one day. I think it was a cherry bomb. The Blue Caps drummer told me that they taped a cherry bomb inside the guitar and it went off. He was the Keith Moon of the day, I guess. That kind of thing. There's it. But they didn't play that they were playing like a rhythm guitar, you know, just chops like that. But in the Blue Caps, you'd never hear that because the brushes and the rest of the band would cover it up. But it was there, it was just soft, that kind of thing. God, I get so lucky. I rented this guitar to do some stuff. I forget what it was. It just needed this particular guitar. And the guy who owns the store took note of how many times I rented it, and he just ended up giving it to me. So I guess thank you very much for that. And it's I tried to get the same. I know what it was. I was trying to get the same sound as was on the Elvis records with Scotty Moore, who had a completely mind-blowing and groundbreaking, history-making sound. And I can't illustrate it because it isn't plugged in. But and also Sam Phillips had a lot to do with the sound of the guitars and the drums on Elvis's records. So this is the guitar, but oh gee, can we just? It's a Gibson L5, I think. And immediately you pick it up, you can. That's the sort of style he used to play, and that kind of. This is one of my better guitars. It's a totally original 54 Telecaster with every screw that's allegedly original. And I'm not going to tell you who it was originally for, but the story was I went into my road manager's room and he had this guitar case, and I knew he didn't own a guitar, so I opened the lid. He said, "Hands off that." And when I opened the lid, I thought, well, at least he's bought a guitar. And he said, no, it's for someone else. I said, no, it isn't. It's for me, thank you. $600. I slapped on the table and bought it. Because it played great. I mean, like, I've been playing Telecasters since, God knows where, 59. When I picked this up, it was like an old friend coming back, you know. It can do most anything on this. It's just a simple thing. There's no kind of trick bridges or anything. It's just a great workhorse, and it sounds, you know, it's got the old James Burton sort of sound, you know, like it's got a spanky kind of sound to it, which not many other guitars have. And you just roll off a bit of top, and you can get. Oh, jeez. Got a nice tone to it. And then when you want to put some top on it, this here is where I began to realise that you had to have this exact model to get the Cliff Gallup sound. Yeah, it's got a characteristic sort of bell-like sound. You know, like once again, I need a brighter amp to get the sound out, but he would. Cliff was doing stuff in the mid-50s, which are breakneck speed that we'd never heard of. Like he was going that kind of tempo, but he was going. We'd never heard anything like that. What's this diddly diddly stuff? And he was going. I mean, what's that? You know, hair braid and stuff. And then he was sort of playing runs like you know, climbing sort of octaves, which totally blew me away. I just couldn't figure out. I had to slow the record down and hear. And it was so spot on, and it was as though he never even thought about the solos. And yet every one of them, we've all been, you know, like I say, all the people that follow rockabilly have still been standing aghast at how he plays these things, and how he reckons that he didn't spend all his life, you know, perfecting solos, but you can tell if you listen carefully that they're just random brilliance, and that's how things were. You only got you were only allowed to be in being signed to a record company if you had something really special to offer, and they did. All the rock stars of those days had their own sound. Buddy Holly, Blue Caps, they all had this immediately recognisable sound. Even Dwayne Eddy, you know, I mean, like sort of. Any kid on any block could pick up the guitar and do that, and that's what, you know, he was kind of like a big building block for a lot of guys. Went from going, you know, and using the whammy arm. If you can't play that in about 5 minutes, don't even think about playing the guitar. He did that. This is specifically Cliff's guitar type of guitars, as close as I could find. I bought one about 10 years before I got this, and it was in bits, and it'd been under this guy's bed for about God knows where. So he smashed it up and put it back, and just rested the pieces in the case. And I paid $800 for it and glued it back together. And then luckily I got one that was this one, actual guitar. Back here is the big daddy of the Strat line for me. This was the Sunburst Stratocaster. This is 1954, one of the first ones ever made, and very close to the Buddy Holly and Crickets, which I used to draw over the Buddy Holly and the Crickets cover with them standing there. I think they've got 2 or 3 guitars on the cover, and this was one of them, exactly like it, one like this. And incidentally, I was lucky enough to go to see Buddy Holly, I think it was 1958, at the Davis Theatre in Croydon, and that was when seeing the movie Girl Can't Help It was one thing, but to see 3 guys on stage in near your hometown singing Peggy Sue live, I mean, it was just amazing. I was just lucky to get to have this, and it was just one of those lucky nights when I walked into a studio and this guy said, "I want you to have this." I went, "Thank you." I actually left it there overnight so he could change it. If he wasn't drunk, he would change his mind at breakfast the next day and take it. And I went back there a couple of days later and it was still there. So thank you very much, mister. This here is one of my prized possessions. It's given to me by Jimmy Page. Led Zeppelin Jimmy, that is. And it's plastic, and it's a Maccaferri, and it's the same brand of guitar used by the great Django Reinhardt. And still got the original cord that you put around your neck that I've broken. And I've got the ticket that says, "Keep this in top condition with a damp cloth," wiping a damp cloth over it. And it's just a fantastic little thing that I have, and it's lightweight, and you can pick it up and put it down when you're sitting there watching TV or just noodling around. And it's just a sweet little thing. And it enables you to sort of, it's not that bad a player. It's just a nice thing to have, lurking around. It doesn't make you feel like you're really going to go up to a studio and plug in and so you can just pick it up and use it as an exercise machine. And it's got a little bit of a Django sound to it. He does all that. He does all that kind of stuff, but I'm not even going to go there. But just the fact that he played one is good enough for me.